strategic Bitcoin reserve. There's the SEC pulling back on essentially every lawsuit. There's progress on stablecoin legislation. There's talk of market structure legislation. There was the White House crypto summit. These are game-changing positive developments that should put Bitcoin trading at $150,000 or $200,000 today. It's been suppressed because in the short term, this overhang of the economic uncertainty is weighing on the markets. I think if that is released, we're at new all-time highs quickly, and we're on our way to where I think we'll be at the end of the year, which is Bitcoin 200,000. Is the prospect for a recession, or to be more precise, how the government is going to respond to the prospect of a recession or a weakening economy. So everyone, including me, is parsing the words of whatever government secretary or executive is on TV talking about what's going on. I love it when we can focus specifically on crypto, and I think the story there is very strong. But right now, it's the economy stupid, and that's what people are paying attention to. I said before that I think the government has outlawed recessions. I think what's interesting about this particular moment, because you're right, we've been crying recession for 10 years, and it's never arrived. The reason it's never arrived is every time there's a little wrinkle in the economy, the government steps in with stimulus, with reduced rates, with other ways of monetary support, which sort of become allergic to any economic pullback, which is a natural part of the economic cycle. I think the thing that has people freaked out right now is, at least from the outside, the Trump administration is saying we're okay with a little bit of volatility. And so that monetary stimulus may not arrive in the way that it has since 2008. My core belief is that it will arrive. My core belief is that the government will blink, that we really are allergic to these economic pullbacks, that we're not set up anymore to withstand that kind of volatility. So I expect maybe even this week to see the government start to blink, maybe at Jerome Powell's press conference later in the week. But if they don't blink, if we're really going to sort of embrace this pullback, this cleansing pullback, then that'll be a challenge for the equity markets and a challenge short term for the crypto markets. I think we'll be okay long term, but I think that's the game that's being played right now.
A euphemism for recession?
Not at all. It doesn't have to be, because it'll depend on how quickly the baton gets handed off. Our goal is to have a smooth transition.
President Donald Trump on his Truth Social website announcing that he will announce Michelle Mickey Bowman to be the new vice chair for supervision at the Federal Reserve, replacing Michael Barr, who had that position for several years. Bowman joined the Federal Reserve in 2018. She was the former head of the Kansas Bank Commission. She has to be nominated, is my understanding, and approved by the Senate. The question becomes, how much reform and how much deregulation does the president want in the banking system, and how much Michelle Bowman will deliver? He said, regulation and banking, our economy has mismanaged for the past 4 years, and it's time for a change. Bowman had been an opponent of additional regulations that Michael Barr wanted to put on. She was joined by others on the Federal Reserve. But the question is whether or not she ends up being as much of a deregulator as the president wants. I thought she was rather conservative in the changes that she wanted, rather than wholesale reforms or deregulation. So this is interesting. She was approved by the Senate once. She'll be approved again, I would expect. But now the question becomes, how much reform to Dodd-Frank? I know the banks are looking for additional relief when it comes to supervision, as well as capital ratios. So those remain outstanding. The Fed has pretty much, as I understand it, frozen additional bank regulation during this interim period where Michael Barr announced his resignation and before a new a person is picked. And that person is Michelle Bowman, who was a Federal Reserve governor.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you're joining the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. And also, guys, make sure you go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And we have Matt from Bitwise saying that Bitcoin should be at 150 to 200,000 right now. But guys, we know why it's not. It's time to build. The whole purpose of all these robots, algorithms, and drones and digital currencies are for this new digital economy. And yes, we see all the technology is ready and we see it slowly implemented. But in order to bring it in, we know they need that crisis. And I'm going to get into that later. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And will the Fed step in as usual if we start to tank? Guys, we know they want to get rid of this legacy market so Trump can build this fourth industrial revolution. They want everything to break down. Remember, they have to get Americans to their knees to accept this new system. Remember, America is the last free nation. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Now we have Michael Barr is out and Michelle Bowman may be getting a job. And remember what Trump wants. He wants reform. Well, I shouldn't say Trump, what the banks want. Because remember, he works for the bank. But they want to free up these banking rules. And we know for a fact they're about to get it. Like in my NWO book, I tell you that corporations and banks are going to be your new government. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Now we have Klarna Inc.'s exclusive deal with Walmart right before the IPO. But then on top of it, OnePay gets shares of Klarna. And don't forget who owns OnePay. Majority of the shareholder is Walmart. Yes, guys, you can't make this stuff up. And what does the crypto teacher teach you? Follow the money. And these loan programs we're seeing getting more and more traction due to the masses not able to get credit cards or regular loans. This works perfect. And then down the road, when you add in universal basic income, it definitely works in perfect. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Remember, this is a plan. It moves in phases. And we have President Trump looking at the airstrikes on the Houthis, and it looks like a video game. And we go back to that crisis. They need that crisis in order to bring in all this technology. And we see a trade war coming up, a currency war coming up, drums are beating coming up. And like I told you, we're definitely going to get the beginning of a reset, whether it's stable coins or another event this year. And I told you that crypto would take the blame of this legacy market falling. And we'll be getting that universal basic income by September 2028 because that's Shemitah year. And remember, the crypto teacher told you because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Later loans for Walmart, taking away a coveted partnership from rival Affirm. Affirm shares down 8% as a result, and that's off session lows. CNBC's Hugh Sun broke the story, and he joins us now. First of all, welcome.
Great to be here, Kelly.
Second of all, I guess start wherever you think, but what's the backstory here and how big a deal? And is the timing a coincidence just after this IPO?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they're trying to generate enthusiasm for the IPO. That's pretty clear. The mechanism for delivering these Klarna loans, these installment loans to Walmart customers will be, there's this in-house fintech called OnePay that they rebranded to OnePay recently. And that's going to be the front end. On the back end, Klarna is going to offer these loans, and they're going to be ranging from 3 to 36 months and from interest rates of 10 to 36%. So that's the context. Obviously, the timing seems to be very, very auspicious for them. They're generating a lot of enthusiasm for their IPO. They hope to. And if you look at some of the filings, they actually, they gave OnePay, which is the Walmart fintech, about 15.3 million shares in the IPO.
Oh, really?
And so both the United States and the Iran-backed Houthi rebels, terrorists, are promising to ramp up hostilities after President Trump authorized airstrikes over the weekend. And those airstrikes targeted Houthi-held parts of Yemen, and they're aimed to stop the terror group's attacks on ships in the Red Sea, and of course ships and our men and women in the military in those areas as well. Houthis responded with a video showing American flag-draped coffins floating near destroyed Navy ships. But the U.S. is not holding back. The president posted this: "We will use overwhelming lethal force until we have achieved our objective. To all Houthi terrorists, your time is up, and your attacks must stop starting today. If they don't, hell will rain down upon you like nothing you have seen before." To Iran, support for the Houthi terrorists must end immediately. America will hold you fully accountable, and we won't be nice about it. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
An era of peace through strength is back. This campaign is about freedom of navigation and restoring deterrence. The minute the Houthis say, we'll stop shooting at your ships, we'll stop shooting at your drones, this campaign will end. But until then, it will be unrelenting.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting at more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the new World Order book, plus the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos: Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID 33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.